All right, let's dive into this really powerful idea called the path of the original signal. I mean, what is it? It's really all about finding out who you actually are, beneath all the layers and all the noise.
It all kicks off with this kind of provocative idea. The thought that there's this system, right? A current that's just pulling you along. And here's the thing. It works perfectly, as long as you don't ask one very specific, very dangerous question.
So, what is this system? Let's just call it the blueprint for now. Think of it like a prepackaged life. It's this whole set of expectations that starts to shape your entire world way before you even have a clue what's happening.
I mean, right from the get-go, you're being sorted. The institutions, they've got their slots to fill. The career paths are all neatly laid out. And pretty much everyone around you, they have plans for who you're supposed to be.
And in today's world, wow, this is just amplified like crazy. The algorithm, right? It's curating your reality. It's constantly reinforcing what you already think, showing you what it thinks you want, and just gently steering you down this super predictable path.
And the main expectation? It's simple. Comply. That's it. Pick a major, choose a career, get in line. See, the system was never designed to wake you up. Nope. It was designed to use you. As a worker, as a consumer, a follower, whatever. It absolutely thrives on people who just don't ask those dangerous questions.
But what if you didn't? What if you just didn't comply? And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing. The one single question that unlocks everything. The one thing that once you ask it, makes you pretty much impossible to control.
Who am I? Sounds so simple, right? But it's probably the most dangerous question there is. Why? Because the second you truly ask it, you start to take apart that whole blueprint that someone else built for you.
Now let's be clear, the answer isn't going to be found in some external label. It's not your job title, it's not with some personality test says you are, and it's definitely not that version of yourself you put on for everyone else just to get their approval. No, it's the real you, the one that's underneath all that stuff.
And here's the thing, this is what's really at stake. Just look around you. Seriously, how many people do you see who are genuinely, vibrantly alive versus the ones who are just surviving? Just going through the motions, living for the weekend. Well, that's what happens when you don't ask the question. You end up building a life that looks great on the outside but feels completely empty on the inside.
Okay, so how do you find the answer? Here's the cool part. It's not about inventing some brand new you. It's actually about remembering. It's about tuning back in to what this is all about, your original signal. I want you to think back for a second. Think back to when you were a kid. Before anyone told you what was realistic or acceptable. That kid who built entire worlds in their bedroom, or drove their parents crazy asking why all the time, or maybe just quietly understood things. That was your original signal. Pure, unedited, and totally true. And guess what? That signal is still broadcasting.
So here's how you find your way back. Ask yourself this, and be honest. What did you love to do before you learned to be ashamed of it? What's that thing that makes you completely lose track of time? Who are you when absolutely no one is watching? See, the answers to these aren't on some multiple-choice test. They're already written inside you.
And all this, it brings us to a really fundamental choice. Every single one of us is standing at a crossroads, a choice between two very different potential lives.
Okay, so here they are, side by side. On one hand, you have the life of default. This is the path of least resistance, right? You just let the current take you, you check off all the boxes, and you call that a life. Then there's the life of design. And yeah, this one is harder. It starts by asking those really tough questions and then building a life from that place of truth. Look, it's not easier, not by a long shot, but it is yours.
So let's say you choose the path of design. What are your tools? Well, there are three ancient, super essential questions that can basically guide you on this whole journey.
Okay, first up, who am I? And this goes way deeper than just your name or your job. It's about that awareness underneath everything, the consciousness that's actually observing your life. Then, number two, why am I here? This one invites you to look at your unique gifts, sure, but also your wounds. Is there a pattern you keep seeing, a lesson that keeps popping up? Your purpose is usually hidden right in there. And finally, number three, what did I come to do? Now, this isn't about what job you should get. This is about your essence. Are you here to master something like courage, or maybe compassion, or creation?
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little philosophical, a little out there. But there is a very urgent, very practical reason to be asking these questions right now.
Because the world is changing faster than ever before. Those paths they're pointing you down, they might lead to a dead end. The jobs they're training you for, well, they might not even exist in a few years.
Think about it. We're in an age where AI is just exploding, and basically everything that can be automated will be. So your greatest asset isn't going to be some skill you can learn from a textbook. And this brings us to a really cool idea: the real rebellion.
I mean, a machine can perform a task, no problem, but it can't discover its own purpose. It can't ask, who am I? Or why am I here? That is uniquely human. And the people who know themselves, they're the ones who are going to thrive, because they are by their very nature completely irreplaceable.
So if you really want to rebel against the system, forget about the clothes or the attitude. The system doesn't care about any of that stuff. The only thing it cares about is that you stay asleep. The real rebellion, it's quiet. It's the act of refusing to be defined by someone else before you've even had a chance to discover who you are. That's it, the rebellion of knowing yourself.
And so that leaves us with one last kind of echoing question. It's a question coming from that original signal deep inside of you. You know, that buried true self that's just been waiting patiently this whole time? And it's asking you one thing: will you come find me? Your entire life is waiting for your answer.